Hey everyone, and welcome to RUBIN'S Mind Lab, where we break down the latest research into what it really means. Ever wondered how little kids learn to understand the scribbles and drawings we use to communicate? This new study dives deep into that exact question, exploring how children learn to connect a simple drawing to the real thing. So, the big question here is this: when do kids start to get that a drawing, like a simple line drawing of a dog, actually means a real dog? We know kids are amazing at language and gestures, but what about pictures and drawings? That is still a bit of a mystery. The researchers wanted to figure out which kinds of drawings are easiest for kids to understand. And when they start to get it, even when the drawings aren't super realistic. They tested young children from 3 to 7 years old with a bunch of different types of drawings. Think of it like a guessing game. They showed kids 2 hiding spots, let's say a blue circle or a blue square, and then they showed them a drawing. The drawing was supposed to give them a clue about where something like a banana was hidden. The key here is that they looked at how kids understood drawings that were related to the real object in different ways, from really similar drawings to ones that were more abstract, like using just a part of the object or showing a similar shape or size. They did 3 big studies, all using the same basic game. They had kids play a hiding game on a touchscreen. A cartoon monkey would hide a banana under one of 2 cups. Then the monkey would draw a picture. The picture was the clue. For example, if the banana was hidden under the cup with a square on it, the monkey might draw a square. But they tested many variations. Some drawings were just outlines of the real object. Others were only half of the object, like a semicircle trying to represent a circle. Some used shapes that were similar in form, like a round shape for a circle, but were more abstract. They even tested things like position, orientation, size, and number. They made sure to test kids of many different ages, finding out when, on average, kids started getting it right. Let's look at what they found. In study 1, they started with the most straightforward connection: a clear outline drawing of, say, a square to match a square target. Children as young as 36 months, that is 3 years old, could already figure this out pretty well. This means that when a drawing clearly looks like the real thing, even very young children understand the connection. But things got trickier when the drawings were less direct. For example, a pars pro toto condition used only half of a shape, like a semicircle for a circle. Kids didn't reliably understand this until about 38 months. Then they tested form analogies, where a drawing might be simply rounded or edgy to match a round or square object. These more abstract connections weren't understood well until around 47 to 50 months old, which is closer to 4.5 years. This shows a clear progression. The more the drawing looks like the real thing, the earlier kids can understand it. In study 2, they moved to even more abstract ideas, focusing on things like position and orientation, and using different shapes for the clues and the targets. This meant that iconicity, or the visual similarity, was much less important. They found kids understood position clues, like an object in the top half matching a clue shown in the top half of a drawing. Around 44 to 45 months, understanding orientation, like 2 shapes pointing the same way, or having a feature like a bump pointing up or down, was understood around 46 to 50 months. Interestingly, they found that a simple feature like a bump or hole pointing up or down was sometimes easier to understand than just the overall orientation of a shape. This suggests that distinctive features can be strong clues for young children. Generally, in this study, kids were getting these more abstract positional and orientational clues reliably around the end of their 4th year. Study 3 really pushed the boundaries of abstraction, looking at analogies based on size and number. Here, the shapes used for the clues and the actual objects were often totally different. The connection was purely based on the concept, like a small drawing for a small object, or a drawing with 3 dots for an object that was part of a group of 3. They found that understanding size analogies, like a bigger squiggle for a bigger target item, was grasped by about 49 months. Number analogies, like 3 dots for 3 items, were understood around 50 months. But when they looked at size of feature and number of feature, where the clue was about a part of the object having a certain size or number of features, it was much harder. For size of feature, which involved things like a large or small opening on a shape, children didn't reliably understand it until they were around 59 months old, nearly 5 years old. This was the hardest condition tested. So what is the big picture here? The researchers found a significant milestone around the 4th birthday. Before 4 years old, children heavily rely on drawings that look like the real thing. But after 4, they become much more flexible and can understand more abstract connections based on form, position, size, and number. This suggests a major shift in their symbolic understanding around this age. It is like a symbolic revolution happens in their brains. They also noted that focusing on concrete features or analogies in abstract shapes is harder. This makes sense, as younger kids tend to focus on surface details rather than abstract relationships. Tasks that require mentally manipulating or comparing these abstract concepts are more challenging. This improvement is likely linked to the development of skills like working memory and executive functions, which also mature significantly in the preschool years. The really cool takeaway is that around 4 years old, children become much better at understanding new ways of communicating, even without explicit teaching. They generalize their understanding of symbols across different types of relationships. This shows how adaptable young children are in learning and using symbols. Now, it is important to remember the limitations. This study was done with children in a specific cultural setting, Germany, which is highly industrialized and has a strong emphasis on early education and symbolic learning. Children in other cultures, or those with less exposure to drawings and books, might develop these skills differently. Also, this was a cross-sectional study, meaning they looked at groups of children at different ages. Future research could follow the same children over time to see exactly how these abilities develop individually. Overall, this research is super important because it maps out the development of understanding graphic symbols in a really systematic way. It shows us that by the age of 4, children's ability to decode meaning from drawings, even abstract ones, takes a big leap. It highlights how crucial iconicity is for starting out, but also how quickly children can move beyond it. These findings can help educators and parents design materials that are appropriate for different age groups, understanding what kind of visual clues young children are most likely to grasp. It is a fascinating look into how we learn to read the world of symbols. What do you think about these findings? Does this align with your experience with children? Let me know in the comments below. And if you found this interesting, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to RUBIN'S Mind Lab for more insights into the amazing world of psychology. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.